What's up, guys? What's up? It is the Crossover Sports Podcast, episode 51, coming to you live on a Friday night at 9 o'clock, on time for once. What's up, guys? What's up? What's up? I am rocking out with Matt and Amina. Hold on, I'm going to turn my camera off. We are rocking out with Matt and Amina today. Hopefully Trey will come in. For you Courtney fans, she is not here this week. She will be here hopefully next week. And Trey should be in momentarily, but we're gonna have the panel reintroduce themselves. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, what's going on, people of the internet and people of the actual world that is the real world? Uh, I am the Mac at Small Red Horn on Twitter, and baseball season's about to end. But however, the postseason will begin. But then again, someone had to meddle in sports affairs more later on. Amina, to you.
Did I mess something up or would I inbox you?
Okay. Well, y'all know how we start this off. It is our crossover hot takes, where we will have topics. They don't necessarily have to be about sports, but because of the specialness, for lack of a better term, the uniqueness. Because I'm not going to use the R word. Because of the uniqueness of last week from a certain occupant of the White House. Uh, the NFL took center stage this week, so we're gonna start with what everybody wants us to talk about. Your favorite topic of the week: the reaction to the protests in the NFL. Small Red Horn, take off, my brother. Matt, you there? No, Matt dropped off the face of the earth. Go ahead,
This
Abina.
connection, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
This connection been kind of crazy tonight. I hope it gets fixed. Um, since when did he do the? Since that rally he did in Alabama, where he said something, you know what? And he called people in the NFL to, SOBs. It's been going haywire in the NFL. This is I made a post on Facebook about how every 25 years is something significant that happens in America, and I think we're on the brink of a new 25-year cycle. This is going to be what our generation are going to be remembered by when it comes to the sports world. This is our moment, so to speak. I've never seen so much unity when it comes to sports. First, it was the NFL, now the NBA, and now the MLB. Hopefully, other sports organizations or leagues will join as time goes on. But it's so beautiful. Um, Not this past Sunday, I think it was. Well, where all the teams that played that on Sunday, they all participated. They all locked arms and kneeled together. But what we shouldn't do in reference to this is allow it to take away from the focus of why Colin Kaepernick started his movement yes last year in 2016. This movement was started for police brutality and mob attacks against black and other people of color in the country from law enforcement. I believe that this current situation that's happening is kind of taken away from that a little bit. No one's really talking about police brutality at this moment, like people were for the last several summers. It's kind of been hush hush. So it's the protests are good. I respect them. I'm I know why they're protesting, and I stand with them. If I was a player, I'd be right there with them. But the protest originated with Colin Kaepernick, with him taking a knee, protesting police brutality. It's not about the national anthem. The national anthem has all its flaws, and we know that. But it's important to recognize and keep in the forefront why he started his movement and what his principles were. I mean, it's gotten so intense in reference to him with concerning his NFL protest that Sports Illustrated did a cover in the front of their magazine, and they didn't include him in it, and he's the one that started it. And my man Steph Curry went off like, how are you not including the man of the hour that started this movement? But like anything else that we as a people start, they try to water it down, try to sugarcoat it, try to erase the founders out of history, try to put their own twist and spin on things. So this movement that's currently starting is good. It needs to be done, but it also needs to be a correlation along with what Colin Kaepernick started, because he started something that should not be ended. It needs to be continuing until people that fail to get the message eventually get the message. So I feel as though also that this NFL protest is it's not going to stop. I mean, tomorrow starts the preseason for the NBA, and they're going to show their side of how they feel the 30 NBA teams. So, like I said on Facebook, we have not seen not even the middle of this. This is just in the beginning. This whole situation is going to increase. More people are going to come out and say how they feel, and they're not going to give it basically SHIT how other people feel about it. Gone are the days of keeping silent and being quiet about how you feel about things. This is going to continue. As I said, this it started something, and it probably wouldn't be as major if Agent Orange hadn't opened his mouth at the Alabama rally, but because he did, it's a trickle down effect, dominoes, and more people are going to be coming out. You're going to see people that you would least expect coming out saying how they feel, and other people too. So this is global now. It's no longer an American issue. It's a universal issue now because you got people overseas participating in this now. So it's a good topic to be discussed for weeks to come. Is it progressive?
Let's put it this way, dear. You know full and darn well 45, Agent Orange, the Great Pumpkin Patch, the
I call him
Pumpkin
Donald
Eater,
Duck.
the man that pretty much been in the tanning salon for about 1 to 2 minutes too long. You're talking about Mr. Narcissist, Mr. I had small, no, I had big
Yes, Matt.
hands. We're talking about the same guy who says, "Look at me, I know more than the generals." You're talking about the same guy who thinks he knows more than everybody else. We're talking about the same guy who challenged the USFL to move its season from spring to fall to challenge the NFL, in which it fell because of this moron. You're talking about the same guy who which
Mhm.
a good section of America, albeit 40 some odd percent of it, believe that this man can run the cotton picking country and run it to the best of his ability. Have you lost your cotton picking mind? Have you lost all sense of, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not common sense anymore. Just total decency. Let me tell you something. Last time I checked, I never really thought about this thing for a good one whole week since Sunday. the First Amendment. Last time before I go any further, yeah, let me go there. The First Amendment says this country you have a freedom to you have a freedom of press, the freedom of the press, the freedom of religion, the freedom of assembly, uh, and probably three other things I can't name right now. Now, people, men and women of the military, currently overseas, and those who passed away to fight for said freedom, to do what these men and women are doing by taking a knee because of literally, let's not forget here, social injustice has been going on against the people of color for far too long, particularly the police. And yet, and yet, people are up and armed because of the fact that you don't want your politics mixed with sports. Let me tell you something. 1936 Olympics was where Jesse Owens won the gold medal in front of Hitler in the 36 Berlin Games. You're talking about the the Olympic massacre in 17 in Munich. Okay, we're talking about where the U.S. pretty much boycotted against the Olympics because of Iran. I mean, this is nothing new. We're talking about the 1974 Red Army team going against the Philadelphia Flyers. We're talking about, you're talking about 1980, 76 Mexico City Olympics. We're talking about Muhammad Ali. I could go on. Sports and politics does mix, unfortunately. Because these subsection of people are saying, you know what? Something is going on and it needs your attention. I'm sorry, but if you do not do something about this or at least start a conversation, I mean, this will go on. We can name the list. We can go on the list. These people: Trayvon Martin, Sandra Bland, Eric Garner, and others. And these people and these cops and these police officers and these law enforcement officials have yet to be convicted. So yes, they have every right to protest, and it is protected by the First Amendment by doing so. Oh, and by the way, the Department of Defense has put in about $12 million for this patriotic posturing, this patriotic BS to sell people to get into the army. Come on, spare me, spare me, spare me, okay? Now, here we go. When I say here we go, for anyone to say, show respect for the flag. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Mr. President, Mr. 45, Mr. Agent R, the Great Pumpkin Patch, President Trump. Okay, the First Amendment allows these men and women to do what they do, bringing attention to what's going on in their particular communities, particularly Martellus Bennett, I believe it. Now, they have the First Amendment has given them that right, and the veterans that fought for it has applauded them for it because it gives them more pride in the sense of, you know what, I fought for that. My comrades gave their lives for that, and there's nothing but pride and honor because of this. But on the flip side, you have people say, you know what? It's about the flag. It's not about symbolism. It's not about the relic. I mean, come on now. If you're stuck on patriotism, you're on the wrong side of history. You're on the if you yes, I don't give look. I love this country as much as the next person in line, but I'm gonna tell you right now, there's so many things wrong with this country. We don't know where to begin. One of them will be the removal of said 45, but 46 would be worse either way. But the thing is, these people have a right to do what they did. I personally did not know till the next day from last podcast to say that even a MLB ball player took a knee, and he was raised by his parents who were in the army. Okay, grew up on an army base, so he gets it. Okay, mind you, this is more than just a flag. This is more. This is nothing. Look, this is not. Look, this is not more than just the anthem in America and everything. Look, the country is giving us this country is giving us alienable rights to exercise. Okay, Second Amendment. Take our guns. No, we're not trying to take our guns. And oh, by the way, NASCAR. I'm gonna get to it later, I believe. NASCAR has no right to do what they did. In fact,
save it for later, Matt.
No. I know it's safe for later. I'm gonna just sprinkle a little bit, put a little on it. They had no right whatsoever to do what they did. Yeah, I'm gonna repeat myself later on, but it is what they did the most unconstitutional thing in the world. And I hope and pray that the ACLU gets involved, sues NASCAR, and sues school districts and anyone else that attempts to do what they do. In this case, get in the way of the Constitution of the United States of America. You done lost your cotton picking mind. You done lost your mind. These ball players have every right to do what they did what they did, albeit for some of the owners were grandstanding, but that's another story for another day. The point is the right to protest is there. We as African Americans have fought to get to this point. Albeit we've been free for 150 years. And yet, we have to keep, and we still have to fight to say we're not 2/3 of a man. We are a full man. And I'll be damned if you will step on my throat, on my face, on my whatever, to say, you know what, you need to respect this flag. You should respect me as a man first, then we'll talk about flag, then we'll talk about country, then we'll talk about other things. But until then, if you don't respect me as a man, I will scream, I will kneel, I will raise my fist, I will do whatever it takes to let you know that I am a man, I am somebody, I demand that you respect me as said man, because at this point you have not done so in this country in the last 500 years, and I demand some decency on the fact that not just Black Americans are getting decimated by police. So excuse me for 32 NFL teams, the MLB at this point that I know of, and others are doing what they're doing to get the message across that we are taking a knee, not just to get behind Colin Kaepernick, not because he needs a job in the National Football League as a Super Bowl quarterback. No, it's the fact that, you know what, there's a problem in America. It needs to be highlighted. It needs to be talked about. It needs some type of legislation, something to say, hey, you know what? There's a problem. You need to fix it, and we will stay on one knee, raise our fist, whatever, until the damn problem is fixed. I mean, anything else? Oh, there you go. Kind of.
Yes.
Matt was so passionate. It was like he went to a praise break.
There was no praise break. The fact of the matter is, you got 45 saying some.
I know. We heard. We watched the video.
I ain't watch nothing. But the fact of the matter remains simple: is he needs to worry about running the stinking country, because he
will. Matt, calm down. Your blood
he's
pressure's
almost in a
up.
year yet.
Your blood pressure's up. Calm down.
Shoot, my blood pressure. I didn't even drink yet.
Calm down. It's all right. I think we
Tyler,
both
what
got
you
the.
got?
Yeah, we want to hear what he has to say now.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know how to follow Matt's passion.
Right?
uh. Uh. Yeah. Here's what I was saying, man. Matt probably said it too. Like 68 Olympics. Matter of fact. Hold up. Let me do something. I put this on Facebook.
Muhammad
It's
Ali,
gonna go.
1967. The Olympics with the Black Prospects, 1968. 38 was it 36 or 38 Olympics with in Berlin?
Y'all might
1936.
Yeah, 36
y'all might want to
Olympics.
call this.
Ali was in
This is the stay in your lane.
1967, and the other Olympics was in
This is the
68.
This is the Stay in Your Lane podcast part 3 right now because we gonna go with on everybody today. We got NFL owners to go into next, but yeah. So the '68 Olympics, there's been a lot of stuff. There's been a lot of like I was arguing this week with people who said they don't think politics belongs in sports, and I was just like, politics been in sports since the '30s, man. Like
Almost 100 years.
since Jackie
I'll go
Robinson.
further back than that. It's been going on since World War I, when the Star Spangled Banner, which was not even the national anthem yet, was played. Not out of form or fashion. I think it was out of spontaneity.
Oh, hold on. All right, there. I found it. Not to cut you off, Matt. Here's what I was looking for. So I posted this on Monday, the 25th, at 7:22 a.m. right before work. This is a quote from Jackie Robinson in his biography. Y'all might know who Jackie Robinson is because he is the black baseball icon, like the first, not really the first one, but the first mainstream African American to break the color barrier.
Of the
If you know
modern
your
era.
If you know your history, and I know Matt knows this, you'll know who the first black person was before Jackie Robinson, who they tried it with first. But anyway, so this is what he said in 19. This is on the anthem in 1972, still relevant today. This is what he says, and I quote from Jackie Robinson. There I was, the black grandson of a slave, the son of a black sharecropper, part of a historic occasion, a symbolic hero to my people. The air was sparkling, the sunlight was warm. The band struck up the national anthem. The flag billowed in the wind. It should have been a glorious moment for me as the stirring words of the national anthem poured from the stands. Perhaps it was, but then again, perhaps the anthem could be called the theme song for a drama called The Noble Experiment. Today, as I look back on that opening game of my first World Series, I must tell you that it was Mr. Ricky's drama and that I was only a principal actor as I write this 20 years later at that time. I cannot stand and sing the anthem. I cannot salute the flag. I know that I am a black man in a white world. In 1972, in 1947, at my birth in 1919, I know that I never had it made. Now, you might say, what is Jackie Robinson talking about here? So this was an issue, the anthem for him broke the color barrier in the 60s. Now, you might say, why is it that Jackie Robinson didn't want to stand for the anthem? Could it be the racism, the death threats, and all the stuff he suffered when he broke the color barrier? That he was a quote from a movie, a black man in white baseball, all the stuff he had to go through. Now, this is a pioneer in the athletics world. This was the Muhammad Ali before there was a Muhammad Ali. This is Jackie Robinson, the pioneer of black people in sports. This is Jackie freaking Robinson saying that he's not standing for the anthem in 1972. Because, so basically what I got from what he was saying is that he realized that, it was just a noble experiment And I guess it took him until after he left baseball to realize that, I was just a guinea pig surrounded by a larger theme in baseball. I was just the first. And that anthem was standing when my people was oppressed in 1919 when I was born, from 1972, and it'll still be standing while they're oppressed by people for as long as this country lives. Now, that was 1972. And I will admit we've come a long, long way, but we still have far more to go, man. When we got a president who, and I put this on Facebook too, a lot of y'all think it's disrespectful when people are taking knee. Let me take it back, right? Let me take it back to somebody. The man's name is Nate Boyer. He's a football player, right? He decides that, he looks and sees, this is back when nobody cared, that Colin Kaepernick was sitting down for the anthem. So he had a meeting with Colin last summer, and he told Colin, I don't like that you're sitting for the anthem. I think you should kneel. I think that would be better. It's a show of respect. We all kneel for our fallen brothers and sisters when they die in the armed forces. So it was actually a white guy's idea for Colin Kaepernick to kneel. Now, Colin Kaepernick, fast forward to August, Colin Kaepernick takes a knee at a Monday night football game, Monday night preseason football game. We've gone over this a lot in this podcast, but we didn't talk about who he got the idea of kneeling from. Now, in sports, when we kneel, we're kneeling because, not just because we're doing the victory formation in football, but when somebody's hurt, we all take knees. Basketball, football, we all do it. We all take knees. That's a show of respect. But for the people that are not initiated, which is apparently 40% to 30% of the freaking country, you would think it's disrespectful, even though the man got it from a soldier. What's wrong with y'all? And then if you're not using veterans, you're using freaking Pat Tillman, right? Freaking Pat Tillman. His family has even said that freaking Pat Tillman, that is not his name, I'm just saying it because I don't want to curse. Freaking Pat Tillman would have took a knee right next to Colin Kaepernick because he was a pacifist who would have stood for his brothers and seen the oppressiveness of these of African Americans. The reason this man takes a knee in is poignant because, and that's why I used the Jackie Robinson quote. Jackie Robinson realized that, even as an athlete, the first thing you're going to see is my color, right? Now, some people have said, they athletes, what they know about being oppressed. Well, before they became millionaire Colin Kaepernick, millionaire LeBron James, millionaire Michael Bennett, millionaire insert athlete's name here, they were black men in America. Black men in America, black women in America, which strikes against them already just based off their skin color because this country has a problem with it. Not all people in this country, but some people in this country. And until you know what it's like, or you ask somebody what it's like to be profiled in stores, to be stopped on college campuses just for walking through, or having your ID and just being new, right? Until you know what that's like to have strikes against you or people clutching their purse around you because they think, oh my God, in this public train on my way to work, I'm just going to decide that I want to risk it all and steal your purse on a public train or a public bus or in a public elevator. Know what that's like. Then you can understand why people like Colin Kaepernick are kneeling. Know what it's like to have veterans in your family who tell you, I was a veteran of the Vietnam War, and I personally was spit on and called the N-word and had to endure Jim Crow. Have people like that. And then you'll probably understand why Colin Kaepernick and them are kneeling, why it's so important, and why it's so disrespectful to have, and I'm just going to get into the second question now, people like Jerry Jones, Dan Snyder, and others bastardizing this protest. Yeah, I said it, bastardizing this protest. What kind of cop-out BS is that, Jerry? Oh, my God. You know what? I'm going to take a knee before the dang national anthem. I donated to Donald Trump, so I got to have it both ways. Freak out of here, Jerry. Make a stand or get out the way. Dan Snyder, you too. Robert Kraft, you too, with your weak little statement. How come the freaking Seattle Seahawks owner had the strongest statement out of all freaking 16 teams in the dang NFL? Huh? How come it was only the Seahawks? The Seahawks owner was the one with the strongest statement. Everybody
Don't
else,
you mean 32 teams?
32, my bad. Everybody else has some weak sauce excuse. Oh my God, I don't accept it. What's the matter, Robert Kraft? You mad because your money, because you donated to the man and now he coming for your team? What's the matter, Dan Snyder? You mad because you gave money to the inauguration and now he turned on your football team? You too, Jerry Jones? Because it's well documented. People like Des Bryant have said the reason I can't deal is because Jerry Jones don't want me to. It's going to affect my money. So we already know it's well documented that you don't want nobody dealing. Freaking America's team, you freaking Jerry Jones, you scared? Oh my God, I can't. It's not like we have the NASCAR audience where our audience is all white. I can't afford to upset the white conservatives that put the white non and conservatives that put Donald Trump in office. Oh my God, my goodness, I'm America's team. I haven't won nothing in 20 years, but it's America's team, the dang Cowboys. Patriots, Cowboys. You know, it's funny. The owners of all the owners that donated to him, the one with the most patriotic name, the Patriots. The only one that visited him so far this year. Come on, Robert Kraft, speak up. We can't hear you over the fact of your hypocrisy. Like, you taking knees, you saying you want to take a knee, you doing different things, you're locking arms, you're being weak with that too. Either take a knee or just do verbal statements. Just stand for the national anthem. Either do what Colin Kaepernick did or don't do it at all. Like, it really is that simple. Either stand for the day national anthem. I'd rather you stand and show me your hypocrisy than try and do what you did for public show because Donald Trump came for you last weekend. Nah. Like, respect what we go through, learn how to respect what we go through, and stop being stupid. And understand that this has been very clear since the beginning of this in the summer. Colin Kaepernick said it. Jackie Robinson said it in the quote I just read. Colin Kaepernick said, I won't stand for the national anthem until this country start living by the ideals it advertises in that dang national anthem. And we all know it ain't living up to the stuff that is in the national anthem. Let me count the ways. Unequal prison sentences for black people that do the same dang crimes as white people. How about freaking Brock Turner and people like that, who if the color was reversed and he raped a woman, he'd be in jail for life. But because he's white, you know, you don't want to put a bad strike on his permanent record. And this is what a judge actually said. He didn't say he was white, but he said, like, you know, I don't want to hurt your record, so you're not going to jail, or you're going to jail for, what was it, 2 weeks that he went to jail for raping an unconscious woman? Come on, America. You already know what this is, but you don't want to speak on it because it's too inconvenient. The truth is too inconvenient for you. Because if you admit the truth, then you're saying this country ain't great. Then there's no reason why you put that dummy in the White House. I said it. Go ahead, Matt, and talk on number 2.
Make America great my ass. Look.
Y'all so passionate tonight.
The fact of the matter remains simple that you have these. First of all, I believe that Roger Goodell does not have any backbone at all, none whatsoever. But when a person comes in and look, particularly the POTUS, tells you about your product, the PR knee jerk is simply saying, no, I gotta protect my brand, I gotta protect my guys. The owners, however, and I really got thinking, like, wait a minute, there has to be at least a list of 10 to 12 owners ish that gave some type of financial contributions to 45. Thankfully, Jeffrey's not one of them. But even we talked about Sean King coming after Jeffrey Lurie, and which, by the way, which was a pretty much very narrow-minded piece, in my opinion, because Jeffrey Lurie stood behind his players, particularly Malcolm Jenkins and Chris Long. He stood. He said, "You know what? Whatever y'all want to do, I support it." And now it's the end of it. You didn't hear anything else from Jeffrey Lurie. I'm like, go, sir. Now, to the rest of these frauds, let's get something real straight here. The bottom line is, of course, you want to make as much money as you can. I get it, but to make money to make your money and say, oh no, don't do this because I might lose money. Let me tell you something. The NFL is already losing money already as we speak because of this. And if you want your money, if you really want your money, and I'll be honest with you, if you want your money, you care about your brand, you care about the NFL, and you love this game for also there. You know what? Sign Colin Kaepernick. I'm talking to you, Indianapolis. I'm talking to you, Cleveland. I'm talking to you, Cincinnati, because Andy Dalton sucks, stinking it up right now. Look. I mean, let's love Trevor Siemian. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I need a quarterback on my fantasy team, okay? Because this ain't working. Siemian and Bradford and stuff. This ain't working for me. But however, this man needs this man. If you do not sign this man, let's stop playing. Sign this man. And this is the man, Colin Kaepernick, that literally say, you know what? He's not only taking a knee, but he's also he's starting the conversation himself while he was in San Francisco. He did talk to San Francisco PD about race relations and everything else in San Francisco. He's given suits to men when they go on job interviews. This is a model citizen that you want in the NFL, the National Felons League. You want this guy. This is like a poster child of greatness off the field. And instead you blackball him. And now you get this. And now not only everybody is taking a knee with Cap and standing with Cap, but also basically saying, look, I feel this is going on in my community and we're gonna do it too. And the owners, many owners have signed off and say, you know what, I'm for whatever the players are doing. I will support it. Others worry about their damn pockets. Look, my thing is simply this. If you worry about your pockets, you shouldn't be, then I'm sorry. You already lost anyway. Because 45 already told his so-called base, don't watch it because, it's a failing product anyway. Like, really? Seriously? You just gave the National Football League, and I'm gonna say it this way too, the National Football League more power to say, you know what, we're not going to stand for this. You gave the National Basketball Association more kudos to say, you know what, we're going to take over the sports scene at number one, and we're still going to. I think Adam. So I don't remember what Adam Silver said. I was there, and even Major League Baseball, the National Hockey League, NCAA, some high school, and which I'm not gonna get to that too because that's a gray area too. They want some freaking power, but it's back to these owners. You want your cake and eat it too, huh? Well, guess what? How about you take that money that you gave to the 45 campaign, you try to get it back, or So you know what? You learn to err your ways, and you won't do it again. And we put your money where your mouth is, and you lead the conversation of social injustice. You lead it. You talk about you take over Sunday. You took over the Lord's day. Kudos to you, unfortunately. But at least you could come up with ads. You could come up with whatever community stuff you come up with every so often to start the conversation, to start the movement, to start the whatever. Say, you know what? We're going to talk about this uncomfortable subject called racism, and we're going to lead it. It's a PR thing gift wrap right there, and all you have to do is take it. Miss Muhammad, the, the soapbox is yours, my dear.
Got mad so bad. Uh, are we still a question one, a real question? Where are we at?
We are on question two about the owners having their cake and eating it too, like Jerry Jones, Robert
Okay, because
Kraft,
I kind of
the
lost.
bull from Jacksonville.
Yes.
Because
Okay. Okay. Yeah, me and Kylan briefly talked about this maybe once or twice this week past. Um, hmm, it's crazy. I think it was like maybe 8 teams that dated 18 months of the infamous 2016 campaign trail. Um, and it seems to me that us coaches and owners of those teams are quite silent as to what's going on. I believe that it's crazy. Um, for one, me and Kylie talked about Jerry Jones because I made a post on Facebook because when they played who they played? Cardinals. I think they played Cardinals. They did. And they alarms all this, and Jerry Jones was standing there with his team, and it was crazy. He took us into things like this. Wow. But my thing is just a Kylie made. You can't exactly let them have the cake. I mean, a lot of these commissioners and coaches have been in their positions not for a short time, but a very long time in the NFL, and they have not been vocal about anything going on in the country up until now. It makes me. You alright, Kylan? Like,
Yeah, I'm back. Hold on.
alright,
Some happened. Yeah, I'm back.
yeah.
Uh, go ahead.
Yeah. These people that are on the teams, run the teams, coaches, they've been in these teams for a long time. Not just the same team, but they've been moving around the NFL, and they've been silent about everything that's been going on in the country up until now. So my thing is, why speak now? Why didn't you speak back in the old days when you first got your career started? Why not even a couple years ago when it was a rash of black youth being murdered by police officers damn near every week? And you said nothing. I believe that they have more passion for the flag being protested against and along with the national anthem than they do Colin Kaepernick's movement because they know that his movement is about police brutality strictly. Like, be persistent. You got to show up every time. You can't pick a moment when you feel as though it's comfortable for you and say, "Oh, I'm just going to choose this one because it's passionate now." You're going to support every time, or you're going to be called out. because the NFL has been around for almost 100 years, and quite frankly, these people over the decades haven't said anything. It's like all this stuff has been going in the country decade after decade, and now you want to finally speak up and say something because the flag and the so-called national anthem is involved in it. I say to hell with the flag, to hell with the Star Spangled Banner. Us as black folks have our own. National anthem is called "Lift the Red Voice and Sing," and that's how I feel about that. Um, yeah, so they want to come out the woodwork and just protest because it's a flag and their national anthem. Go right ahead, but don't come on our block when there's something going on with us. Don't be faking phony. Be real. Be 100%.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Were you done?
Yeah, I'm back. Are we on? So we're moving on to three, or we starting two?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, I'm done.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, moving right along, just because we've been on this for basically 40 something minutes. Yeah,
Passionate.
Matt and I late went in on this on these topics. We're gonna move on to a non, well,
They went in.
just as controversial topic, but not as poignant. We're gonna talk about gambling in men's college basketball. What's your reactions, man? The FBI has subpoenaed some coaches for gambling, for taking money from these shoe companies, having these shoe companies basically view these basketball players, these one and dones like Ben Simmons and stock. What you think? Let's start with Amina. Go ahead, Amina. Us men need to catch our breath. Go ahead, Amina.
Y'all both need to get your blood pressure checked because y'all kind of passionate.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I don't need no dang break. I'm good to go. I'm the Energizer Bunny. I keep on going and going and going.
Yes, that's why we don't need you to keep going and going and going.
That
mm.
sound like Matt ready to go. Go ahead, Matt.
uh, is Matt going? Or I'm still going.
Ladies first. Besides, it's
Oh,
ladies' night.
Queen Latifah. That's a throwback song. But anyway,
Cool in the game.
Queen Latifah. I like her version. Um, Gambling and sports and gambling. Sneakers. Unethical. Sure, people gamble when it comes to betting on which team's gonna win and which team's gonna lose, but that's about the only gambling that should, in air quotes, be allowed. But all this other stuff is crazy. I mean, money and like, I think it probably went under the radar because no one's really paying attention to the NCAA lately because of what's going on with the NFL and other things going on. I don't have much to say. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, gambling, it's not.
So, when are we going to
Go
pay the
ahead.
players?
Huh?
So, when are we going to pay the players? I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah, like pay the players, but at the end of the day, it's like they got to make their money some way, somehow.
Well, put it this way.
Yup.
I mean, paying the players, different story.
Y'all
Right.
both know. Y'all both know the answer to that question. Never. Not until
Right.
every college coach and NCAA board of director is in jail. Never.
Right.
Here you
I mean,
go.
they got to get some money to live some way, somehow.
But anyway, to answer your question, as far as gambling in the National Collegiate Athletic Association, NCAA for short, you're a coach. You're whatever the heck you is. you're making wads of money, and we're in seven digits now, 7 figures. Some schools 6. And you're telling me that's not enough? Are you telling me the fact that, this is Pete Rose all over again? The only difference is Pete's banned. Now, the NCAA has made a lot of money off these student athletes. A lot of money. And for gambling in college sports, in my opinion, should not, I repeat, not happen at all. These are not professional athletes. These are amateur athletes. Amateur. They have yet to turn pro. These athletes, amateur as they are, pretty much bordering on professional, should not, those games, in my opinion, should not be betted on, because these are kids. These are literally kids. 18 to, I'll say 23. 23 years old. Even though they may be young adults, they're kids. They are kids at the end of the day. Okay? Someone comes straight out of the hood from one environment to a whole different environment. And yet you going to Vegas to bet on whatever college or university to win whatever it is you want them to win. But the coaches to get in on this, it's adds to a darker thing. And remember, for some people, it's an addiction. Gambling is a very strong addiction. Okay, we're talking about money, loss of money, loss of this. You're so into the gambling thing, you forget your job, you forget your family, and everything else that surrounds your life. You forget those things. However, with that being said, I don't care if you coach or not. The gambling part of college sports has got to go. It has got to go. In my view, it needs to be outlawed. Because these are not professional athletes. These are kids at the end of the day. Now, if you don't decide by yourself, that's on you. But the NCAA, I don't know who you should be making money off these kids the way they're making this money. If that's the case, pay them. If not, get out. Watson, on you.
Okay, so what's my take on this, man? Right now, just for those of you who are living under the rock, it's 4 schools, basically. Miami, Arizona, Louisville, and a couple of others, assistant coaches so far, who have been caught gambling and basically a lot of corruption and money in college basketball. Now, they haven't gotten college football yet, but the FBI is involved. Nike has been subpoenaed. There's going to be some huge fallout for this, man. And like Matt said, man, this just keeps showing that, the NCAA isn't as amateur as it claims to be. That's amateur sports. Well, nobody would be gambling, and Nike and Adidas and all these other sneaker companies wouldn't be putting money in these different kids like it's the basketball stock market, right? They basically look at these kids as stock and waiting and betting on whether this kid will go first round, second round, because there's only 2 rounds in the NBA draft. So there's just it's totally, it shows how totally disconnected the NCAA is from reality. This wouldn't happen if you paid the players. this wouldn't happen if players could make money off their items. If they could have a YouTube channel specifically dedicated to their special skill of kicking and doing other things, because the NCAA is the only people, the NCAA and the coaches are the only people that can make money off these kids. And it's definitely time to pay the players now. The significance of this is this. Now the NCAA, now we got proof that now we got more concrete proof that everybody make money off these players but the players. So the NCAA is at a bind now. They got to pay the players. That's just my opinion. And so we're gonna start because it's almost 10 o'clock. We've been on this. We've been on these first three topics. Well, most of the first two topics for the past 55 minutes. So we're just gonna limit these responses to about 2 minutes or less. We're gonna go with the old CSC rule. All right. So guys, I'll start with this. Is Rick Pitino's legacy permanently damaged beyond repair? Yes, but he didn't have much of a legacy to begin with because Rick Pitino has burned a lot of bridges since he started as the coach of the Boston Celtics and then worked his way down. Because if you guys remember, he did the reverse track, started in the NBA, then went down to the NCAA after he burned enough bridges as the Boston Celtics coach. Not many people remember that he was the coach of the Boston Celtics. So, for me, Rick Pitino don't really have much of a legacy. Sure, he did a lot for Louisville basketball. He won a title in 2012 or 2013. But, he really didn't have a legacy. There's a lot of stuff that he got away with at Louisville that he probably should have been fired or expelled for. And now the FBI has him, and the FBI isn't really known for letting things go and letting people slide because of who they are in Kentucky. So, Rick Pitino is pretty much destroyed and may end up in pinstripes. So, there's nothing that he can really do. He got fired today or yesterday, and, he'll never be able to coach again, even if he gets off this, even if he beats this bribery and corruption charges, he's never going to be able to coach in college basketball again. Go ahead, Matt. Matt, you there?
Phone's all over the place. Full down. I'm gonna break the CSC rule anyway, cause I can, and I will, and I shall, unless otherwise. Look, first of all, Rick Pitino's was at University of Kentucky before he went to Boston. Number one. Number two. Look, I have not been a Rick Pitino fan myself. Is he a good coach? Absolutely. However, his firing, quote unquote firing, I'm not surprised at it at all because Louisville's been catching a lot of flack and hell, particularly with that basketball program, for a few years now. And finally starting to catch up now to this. So, honestly, what took them so long? I really do not have much of an opinion on this. However, that basketball program itself has been mired with a lot of problems for a long time, and finally it's caught up to them. And now we've seen the fruits of their labor really starting to bite them right in the butt. So, I got nothing for that man. Not a cotton picking thing. Miss Muhammad, time's yours.
Yeah, I got much to say. I feel what y'all had to say. It's not much of a big topic. Mm-hmm.
All right, moving right along. To the one that I know Amina cares about more than anything else, our next two topics. The Carmelo Anthony.
You didn't, Kylie?
And I don't hear him to save my life.
No, we don't. He went bye-bye.
Anyway, what was it? What we talking about? What's his name? What's his name?
Carmelo
Shit.
going to OKC.
Oh yeah. Carmelo going to Oklahoma City
The
on
Thunder.
on the trade that'll on the trade that sent two other players to New York. I'm send it to you since you probably know the ins and outs of this one. You probably got a view on it. I'm trying to get the question up now. Get my life together real quick. If I can find my life.
Well,
Is what is your reaction to the Carmelo Anthony trade? Basically,
basically, his trade has been one of the two major trades of the end of this postseason kind of NBA. I don't think the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to make it any further than they did last season. They finished this previous season. They just ended in June as the sixth seed in the Western Conference. Um, I don't see them going beyond that. Maybe a five, a fifth seed, but that's about it.
mm.
Carmelo Anthony, from the Knicks, really, they really didn't help their team too much getting him. Um, um, I mean, the season is just starting tomorrow night for preseason, so we'll see how it goes. But like I said, he he didn't really help the Knicks, so what can he do for the Thunder? Um, I think it's all crazy, so to speak.
But
They'll have an
The
they'll
Knicks
have
were a
an
dumpster fire.
yes, they'll have an okay season with Carmelo, but it ain't gonna be spectacular. It's just gonna be a Knicks repeat for him at the Thunder. So I don't see anything dramatic changing for the Thunder in their favor. They finished the sixth seed this past season. As I just said, I don't see them going beyond that as far as going higher. If they make it to the fifth seed, I would be expecting that, but I ain't expecting too much great out of them. I mean, this is a team that hasn't been to a finals since the '70s. So yeah, they only have one trophy to their names, and then they only won it in the '70s. So this is a team that cannot make it past the
You are
playoffs if they
so
make it.
wrong.
If
You
they
are
make it to the
terribly wrong.
if they make it to the playoffs, hey,
What do you mean if? Warrior fans. Ugh. Charlie,
what's wrong with
you
us?
back on, huh? See, seems as though your team won the championship and everything. You have every right to talk smack and everything else. As far as I'm concerned, this look. Let's call it for what it is. The fact that Carmelo Anthony is with Russell Westbrook. I mean, honestly, and you're competing with not just San Antonio, not just Golden State, not just Houston, but now you and you now put yourself in a position where now you can really do some hopefully serious damage here, okay? Albeit a dent, okay? Particularly in the Western Conference that's so stacked and just husky right now, okay? The goal is simple: to shoot down and take down the champs that is the Golden State Warriors. And oh, by the way, OKC pulled a fast one because, frankly, I would do if I was OKC. I would have done the same thing. Get that man out of that raging dumpster fire that is the New York Knickerbockers, and bring him over to my side to hopefully, prayerfully pray to God that I can knock off not only San Antonio, not only Houston, but also what's the other team in the East Bay, Golden State. Okay, honestly, I'm all for this move if you're OKC. I'm like, look, you done lost their Kevin Durant. Oh, Westbrook's been basically trying to do it himself. He needs another brother. So guess what? That's what they did. This is going to be a very, very, very interesting season. Kyler Watson, I see you are finally here. The hostess with the mostest. Your thoughts, sir?
Listen, man, as far as the Carmelo Anthony trade, yeah, I know I missed this. Sorry, y'all, technical difficulties. I've been dropping in and out. I think we got them relatively fixed now. We'll see. But yeah, I know. Matt was telling me that Mina been over here, Golden State, showing her wearing her Golden State Warrior T-shirt. For this topic. Yeah, the Carmelo Anthony trade. I mean, they the Thunder found a way, like they finessed the Knicks and traded, basically the 2018 pick for Carmelo Anthony. I mean, they finessed the Knicks and the Indiana Pacers in the same summer. So, you got Paul George and Anthony, and basically all they had to lose was Kevin Durant, for real, and a couple picks for this new big three, this older big three. Now, as I said, I don't expect this.
Keeper older.
Yeah, I know they're old. Russell Westbrook's the youngest one. I don't expect this big three to last very long. I know Russell Westbrook just signed a new contract, which makes him the richest player next year. Steph Curry is the richest NBA player this year. But yeah, Russell Westbrook by himself took the Thunder to the second round. So I expect this team to go, with a motivated Carmelo Anthony and a motivated Paul George, maybe to the third round. Maybe they'll see Golden State in the Western Conference Finals, if the Spurs fall off. But as I said, as long as there's the San Antonio Spurs, I'm about to say San Diego Spurs, the San Antonio Spurs, and the Golden State Warriors and the Houston Rockets, it really doesn't make the acquisition of Melo and Paul George really doesn't make the Thunder. It makes them a top 4 team in the West. It doesn't make them. They're not in that 1-2 conversation like the Spurs and the Golden State Warriors.
And then you got the Clippers. The Clippers are the 4th seed this past season.
Yep, and I'm going to continue. I agree, and I'm going to continue to say that.
The hell with the Clippers.
They were number 4 this past season. Calm down.
That was last season. Now you got the acquisition of Paul George and Anthony. The hell with them. They're 5, if not 6 now.
They were 4. I think 4 or 5.
No,
they were 4 because Utah was 5.
So okay, so just in practical terms, this takes the Thunder from a 6th seed, which they were last year, to the 4th seed, because we all know the Clippers have fallen off. Right now, all they have is Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan. They're the 6th seed. The 4th right now, firmly in 4th place, is the Thunder, because they're not better than the Rockets, they're not better than the Spurs, and they're definitely not better than the Warriors. Those are
the 5th of this past season.
So the Spurs have to significantly fall off for me to say that Houston or Oklahoma City Thunder have a chance to unseat the Warriors. They got to beat the Spurs for the right to dethrone the Warriors first. The Warriors aren't sweating anything because basically what happened is everybody got a big three except for the Jazz. Everybody got a big three now to try and combat what the Warriors do. Now the difference is the Warriors play team basketball. Everybody else is playing isolation ball. That's the true difference. For real, for real. That's the true difference between the teams. But we'll see. The NBA season starts in 3 weeks in October, like mid-October. So we still have a couple weeks. Matt still has time to hold on to his precious baseball. Because I know he doesn't like us talking about basketball before it's time.
He's having connections over there right now.
So
it's only the postseason.
We're gonna let him enjoy. We're gonna let him enjoy the playoffs of the World Series before we start talking about basketball. But let's just say this, man. I still think the Warriors are gonna come out the West right now at 10:10 Eastern Time, 7:10 Pacific Time. I still think the Warriors are gonna come out of the West, but I reserve the right to change my pick once the season starts. All right. Now to the next one. Speaking of people adding old talent, Dwayne Wade joins the Cavs.
Boo!
Will this help? will this help the Cavs? I'll start. Now, y'all know that my favorite shooting guard, besides Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, my third favorite is Dwayne Wade, right? So it hurts me
and old.
It hurts me a little bit.
Old as shit.
It hurts me a little bit that Dwayne Wade decided to join his best friend. Now, last time LeBron joined him. This time Dwayne Wade repays the favor and goes to LeBron James. Now let me say this. Dwayne Wade is 36. He still scored 18 and a half points. He wasn't as efficient shooting the ball as he used to be, but he still can score. I'm mad he joined the Cavaliers just because I don't know why he went. Well, I guess he went there because now he could be in the starting five because of Isaiah Thomas's injury. But, Amina won't like hearing this. But, all the Cavs were missing was somebody with championship experience outside of LeBron James who can play some defense and who can shoot. They have that with Dwayne Wade. I hate saying it. I don't think Dwayne Wade is going to help them against the Warriors because he's no match for Klay Thompson, which would be his matchup. He won't be able to stop Steph, but he does help them in the scoring department and the depth department. Because let's be real, we all know J.R. Smith is a liability. He's up and down. He's like Dennis Rodman. He's a head case. And I hate comparing him to Dennis Rodman, but he's a head case. He's up and down. And all they were really missing was scoring at that shooting guard position. And now they got it with Dwayne Wade. We'll see because they have to beat the Celtics first. But, the Cavaliers have added somebody who's old but can be a leader, can be somebody who can play. We all remember old school Dwayne Wade who willed the Heat to a title before LeBron James, willed them to another couple titles with LeBron James. We've seen this. We'll see. He's highly motivated. He's coming in making the bare minimum $2.6 million after robbing the Bulls for $26.8 million. So, it is what it is. Love you, Dwayne Wade, but I think you're ring chasing a little bit going to the Cavaliers, and you could have just gone to the Warriors, rode the bench, and got some money. But, I fully understand. You want to be in the starting five. You want one last hurrah with your best friend. Understand it, but bruh, man, you're hurting your legacy by joining LeBron. And I don't like, there's nothing wrong with LeBron. It's just, you were the ultimate person. People wanted to join you. You don't go from that and then join somebody else. But still love you, Dwayne. Wish you nothing but the best. But you're no match for the Warriors, man. You're no match for the Warriors. Go ahead, Matt. We'll go right down the line. We'll end with Amina.
Let's put it this way. Does it hurt Dwayne Wade's legacy to go to Cleveland? No, because his legacy has been cemented. It was cemented in Miami. It was cemented before LeBron got to Miami. So if we're talking about legacy here, look, to say, well, you should finish career in Miami, knowing full well Miami's turning over a new leaf. I mean, Chris Bosh is out the league now and forced to retire because of blood clot and other health issues. Bro, just say no. His legacy is fine. He's in the back end of his career. We all know it. We all see it. He is not the same player as he once was. It is what it is. By him joining Cleveland, look, Kyrie Irving is gone. So you need somebody to replace him. And, well, unfortunately, the best they got right now is Dwayne Wade. I'm going to say this to you. For anyone to think that Cleveland is going to go back to the NBA Finals and try to retake the title from Golden State, you are drinking too much alcohol. You have way too much beer. Oh, by the way, it's what? It's not even officially October yet. So, let's see here. How can I word this nicely? Chill out. His legacy is fine. His legacy is intact. We all remember him as a Miami Heat and not as a Chicago Bull, albeit he went home and unfortunately it just didn't work out. So he was born in Cleveland. Let's see how this plays out. I have reserved my judgment because you know what? You never know. But I'll send it off to Amina, who is smiling from ear to ear because of her gleefulness of the cotton picking Golden State Warriors and her being the champs and everything else. So I'm gonna send it her direction because it's talking about this nonsense. And I don't want to hear a cotton picking thing about your Golden State Warriors. I dare you.
About that, yeah. Calm down. Preseason starts tomorrow night. Regular season starts soon after that. Um, I don't. I know definitely we're making it to the playoffs this year.
Nobody asked about you.
Um, as far as D Wade, yeah, huh? D Wade is just about the age that Kobe retired at, so it's like he's the last hurrah. What he should have done is what Kylan said: go somewhere where they actually wanted him. He went somewhere where his buddy friend is because he felt I don't know what's up with D Wade. I mean, he misses Brian, I guess that much, but D Wade will be 36 in January. He's past his prime. He's not fast anymore. He's slowed down. Um, I feel as though he's ready to retire, and that's probably why he went to Cleveland to be with LeBron. He was given a 1 year contract, and LeBron's contract ends at the same time this coming summer. So they most likely both will be leaving Cleveland together. So I think it was kind of a partnership, so to speak. But I don't see much of anything good coming this season from them. I mean, their roster just full of a bunch of old heads now, as far as their starters are concerned. What they should have did is got down to bit. If they really wanted to challenge us this coming season, they should have got down to business this off season and got rookies, people in the beginning prime years of their career. They really didn't do much of anything that showed that they wanted to win this coming year, this off season. So what little they did, along with getting D Wade, it's gonna all show this coming season on the court. I wish them the best as my team's rival. But hey, it is what it is. They signed D Wade for 1 year. They're gonna get D Wade for 1 year. It's gonna be a repeat of the Bulls, just 1 year and only, and out the door.
All right. Okay. So we're gonna move on. Let Matt do his favorite segment. Matt, go ahead and do your baseball update, and then we'll move on.
As the season winds down, I have a, I have a lot to cover. Um, Number one, if just in case none of you has ever paid attention, you might want to pay attention to Giancarlo Stanton. Why? The man's darn near the 60 home runs. Yeah, 60. Um, the other night, he hit his 59th home run of the season and is on his way to 60 now. That's number one. Number two, uh, Pete Buchanan of the Philadelphia Phillies. He's out. He will not be the manager of the Phillies next season. Instead, he'll be reassigned, if you will, to work with the general manager, uh, Matt Klentak of the Phillies. Which, by the way, look, I'll tell you something. For anyone to think that Pete Buchanan will be there for a long time, you look. Let's call for what it is. He was a guy that pretty much was a holdover. It was just a holdover until they got the guy that they want to lead this team to where it needs to go. I was reading somewhere where a lot of names that could be potential. One of them is third base coach Juan Samuel, who was interviewed for the job before. Another name that could be floating around is Buck Showalter, who is still under contract with the Orioles. I don't see that happening. There could be another name could be floating around. I forgot his name, but manager for the AAA Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs, because of the familiarity with these guys that are up now in the major leagues. So this offseason will be interesting to see what the Phillies' new direction as far as manager is concerned will be, and the coaching staff that will surround said new manager. So this move does not surprise me at all. This move pretty much is not indicative of are the Phillies in trouble? The answer is no. The Phillies are not in trouble at all. It is going as planned. We even I knew this as much as McCann's is not a bad manager, but he does a serviceable job with the guys that he has, and whoever the next person is, I hope that takes this team out of this 90 plus loss season and turn into at least 80 wins, 80, 90 wins. That's what this team needs to be at this point. This is what this team needs to be. So, and yes, I've said it earlier in this podcast, it's about time someone took a knee in Major League Baseball. I'm not going to belabor the point anymore on that one. So, with that being said, that's my baseball take for right now. Postseason, I cannot wait for postseason to begin. Unfortunately, for Phillies, you already know. Nice. That's all I have for it. Colin, here's the reins. You can have it. Yes, I am too excited for the NBA, but right now, it's all about the postseason, man. The postseason.
All right, that was Matt's baseball update. All right, y'all, we got a couple more questions. we're not going to touch on, just to not go down a rabbit hole again. We're not going to touch on NASCAR stance with with the anthem protest. We'll talk about that next week. So we're gonna skip that question. So we got a couple more questions to go before we get out of here. So, guys, 2 minutes or less. I guess 3 minutes because this is Louisville. I'll start. So the question is: should Louisville basketball receive the death penalty? Now everybody knows I'm pro pay the players, and we're not on this, but I just want to get that out there because I did have some technical difficulties, and I know we talked about Rick Pitino, but just want to make sure that I get this out there before I start. Pay the players. All right. Should Louisville receive the death penalty, a thing that hasn't been done since the UNLV basketball program? Yes. Unfortunately, and I hate saying that because everybody knows that I'm not for ever using the death penalty as far as when it comes to college sports programs, but in this case, Louisville has shown that they cannot get out of their own way. They've done everything to not get the death penalty, and yet it seems like every year there's something about Louisville, whether it's the coaches pay for strippers to come and entertain some recruits, and the stripper gave different players different diseases and all the other stuff that was going on there, and it happened under Rick Pitino's watch and everything. But unfortunately, Louisville basketball program is a program that can't be saved, and they won't understand as the great philosopher / rapper J. Cole said, don't save her. They don't want to be saved. In this case, don't save Louisville. They don't want to be saved. So the NCAA, if it has the balls, and it should by this point because the FBI is involved, they should give Louisville's basketball program the death penalty. And those who don't understand what the death penalty is, the death penalty is not the same as the one that's done in criminal cases. The death penalty is when the NCAA suspends the specific collegiate athletics program for a year, 2 years, or however long they deem fit. In this case, Louisville deserves to lose their basketball program and those scholarships for at least just based on what they did the last couple years. Like, I have never seen something this level of bad in a college program, and I've been on this earth for 20 plus years. Like, this is bad. This is UNLV bad. Like, this needs to be done. This is SMU bad. And the FBI is involved, so the NCAA has to give it the death penalty. And I'm saying just for a year. Go ahead, Matt. Matt, you there?
I hate the bleeping internet. Look, I thought about it. Not a fan of the death penalty. However, Louisville has dug himself a deep enough hole to give himself said death penalty. I would say at this point, if the FBI has to get involved, let them do their job. Now it's up to NCAA to say this. Look, if there's enough evidence to say, all right, we've seen enough, it is detrimental to not only the NCAA but to their athletes as far as health and everything else is concerned, it's unfortunately time to shut the party down and let all of basketball know this will not be tolerated. Because if you had what Colin just pointed out, SMU did the similar thing. And if you think you're above the NCAA, if you think above all these things, you think again. I'm not a fan of it, but if worse comes to worse, so be it. It's unfortunate that this has to be done, but I think it may have to come down to it. Just to send the severity of the message like, enough is enough. Stop. And if you keep going, we're gonna do this. And now you got to this point. We're gonna do it. And bang, that's it. End of story. You got something to say? And guess what? You have to rebuild your program from scratch. Next.
Amina, you got anything to add? Amina?
Oh, I was muted. In a nutshell, what Matt said, hey, do the crime, do the time. It is what it is. If they did what they did, they have to go through whatever policies and consequences are required. I mean, it is what it is. Ain't much to say. Matt kind of nailed it.
Okay. All right, y'all. So, all right, guys, we gotta do this without going down a rabbit hole. Hopefully, we got all our feelings out. The first two questions. This question, we're not gonna try and go down a rabbit hole. So again, appropriately and respectfully, just to be respectful of our time. I know we're all busy people, so just to be respectful of time, we're gonna try and keep this to 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, as far as talking about this, because I know number 9 we can all go on our feelings. So will black people, shouldn't say will African Americans ever find an appropriate way of protesting that is acceptable? And I know Matt hates this question the way it's worded, but it is what it is, Matt. We ever find an appropriate way of protesting that makes everybody happy? I'll start. No, because as Matt is going to say, and I know I'm stealing his thunder, their protest, as Matt has said before, as I've said before, as Amina said before, as Courtney said before, as Trey has said before, and as most people who come up on this podcast will say, a protest is not supposed to be for your comfort. When they did the Montgomery bus boycott, it wasn't comfortable for the Montgomery bus company. A lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people lost money. It wasn't comfortable. When Martin Luther King and the rest of them marched across the Edward Pettus Bridge, it wasn't comfortable for them when they were met, beat up, stabbed, bitten with dogs, all that stuff. When Bull Connor did it in Birmingham, it wasn't comfortable. But literally, that's the only way to get people to pay attention, with the TV images of little black boys and little black girls being attacked by police dogs, being sprayed down with water hoses. That was the only real way to get people's attention. There's never going to be an appropriate way to protest. There were NFL players in St. Louis that did hands up, don't shoot. The police chief in St. Louis was mad. There were people, the NBA players and WNBA players. WNBA players have been kneeling for the anthem all year, right? People mad. Kyrie and them decided to wear I Can't Breathe t-shirts during warm-ups. They mad. There will never be an appropriate way to protest that will make, I'll say, extreme patriots happy. Because, like I said earlier, to steal the title of Al Gore's movie, the truth is inconvenient for people that try and make this about the anthem. They try and make this about different things. They just try and make it's becoming the Chicago, the black on black crime deflection. People just say it just to not face the truth. And we have to make them face the truth. And that this kind of protest is the only real way to make people face the truth. Go ahead, Matt.
At the end of the day, and I will summarize this the best way I can possible. At the end of the day, to say that there's a comfortable way to protest is an oxymoron thing to do. I will not belabor the point on it as much as I would like to. The protest is there to make you aware of what's going on to whatever going on with said group. Okay, now, albeit you want to live in comfort, great, live in comfort. But someone is saying, "Hi, I'm getting screwed over. Help me." Now, there is no convenient way to do it. There is no. Even Trevor Noah, albeit the Daily Show, broke it down to where as though there is no convenient way of doing things. I mean, there's no my house is on fire. My house is on fire. Well, can you take your fire somewhere else? Are you serious? My house is on fire. You don't tell me my house somewhere else, or that's where we're at right now. We don't want to feel, we want to numb ourselves. But I'm sorry, you can't do that. As much as we'd love to, as much as we want to get away, until the problems of this world or the problems that we have in this country are addressed, there is no comfort. There is no such thing as comfort until it's addressed. And I said this earlier on the top, that if you want comfort, if you want to see your game in its purest form, deal with the problem now before it gets worse. Time's yours.
I guess it's my turn. As Kylan said, we've all said it once, twice, three times, etc. There's no appropriate way to protest. I'll say it again. There's no appropriate way to protest. Everyone has their own idea or concept of how protesting should be done, whether it's boycotting, sitting at a lunch counter, taking a knee, locking arms, just on a flat out economic boycott. So many ways to protest. There's no one way to
You got
the
me?
message. You hear me? There's no one way to get the message across. I mean, if people don't get it to express it, then make people understand the situation. It don't want to. Some Caucasians in this country don't want to deal with what's going on concerning this situation as far as the flag, the anthem, the police brutality, because it makes them feel uncomfortable. And to talk about a problem, some people are benefiting problem. Cases they don't want to let that white supremacy and that white privilege go, but it has to be yanked from one way or the other, and there's no one way to do it. Just take away and roll with it. I mean, it is what it is. I don't know what else way there is to protest other than express yourself in a decent manner where you're not, going off on anybody, but to get your point across as mature as possible. That's all I can think of.
Okay. Well, moving on to our next topic. Well, let's start with so we can get some positive football in here. We're gonna do our Eagles and Raiders predictions. Let's start with the. Well, first off, unfortunately for all of us, usually both our teams have been winning the last few times, except for a couple weeks ago when the Eagles lost to the Chiefs. But the Eagles were saved by a 61-yard field goal last week. They finally found a good left guard. Just so happened to be Steven Wisniewski. That was a good pickup for the Eagles. Hopefully they'll just start him at left guard instead of worrying about Samalu Chance Warmack because they both look god awful. Just start Steven Wisniewski at left guard. Other than that, we finally got a running game. Hopefully that can carry over against San Diego in the late game. Well, late start for us, 4 or 5 Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific. So hopefully they're able to beat the LA Chargers. The injury bug is really beginning the Eagles, especially on the defensive side. Uh, Fletcher Cox will be out for the next 2 to 3 weeks, so I'm a little worried about our defensive line, but and our cornerbacks, especially facing Phillip Rivers, and the fact that we basically gave up 200, 300 yards to Eli and everything because Schwartz was so afraid to play press. So hopefully he plays press a little bit more with the against the Chargers, but we'll see. I definitely have the Eagles coming out. If you wanted me to give you a score, I'd probably say 27-20. I think it'll definitely be a shootout. Hopefully the Eagles will win. I know the Raiders are playing the Broncos. That's always a good game. I definitely think the Raiders will come out on that one. Your receivers just need to catch the ball. I don't know what's wrong with Amari Cooper. But yeah, that's my prediction. Go ahead, Amina.
I agree with you. It's a good topic. I mean, it's a topic involving my team and my hometown team. Eagles. I'm very proud of them this season. Much better improvement than last season. Let's say. Um, Tremendous improvement with Carson Wentz. I noticed this is his second year with the team. He's improving. He's found his footing and he's settled and he's rooted. And I wish them nothing but the best to continue soaring high and continue winning games. My team, on the other hand, this game we have on Sunday, it's a much needed win game for us. We've been doing good thus far this regular season, minus the game this past Sunday, which I really won't speak on. Um, this is a division game on Sunday. This is not any lightweight game. This is a game that's going to really shake up the AFC West. My team needs to win this game. It's not a laughing matter. It's like an emergency. We need to kill the Broncos this Sunday. It needs to happen. My team needs to get their shit together, shake off whatever that was from last week, and get it together. Um, I think these refs calling these penalties is a big factor. You know, sometimes with not only my team and other people's teams of not doing their 100%. But I pray that this Sunday is a great Sunday and that both the Eagles and the Raiders win. But Raiders need to win this Sunday so we can knock some things in motion going into the fifth week of the regular season next week. But we need to win this game against the Broncos. It's not even funny.
Yeah, man. Y'all gotta beat the Broncos, and we're gonna have to show you how to do it.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Yeah. So yeah, for those that don't know, the Eagles play the Raiders on Christmas Day, 8 o'clock Monday Night Football. Not looking
And
forward to that
Warriors
game,
and Cavaliers that afternoon.
but we'll see. We're gonna see what happens. But first, both our teams got to get through the Chargers and the Broncos. So we'll see how that goes. So moving right along because we only got like 2 more topics since we're not doing that NASCAR topic because I really. Matter of fact, we could do the NASCAR topic. I don't really care. No, save it. Let's save it for Matt. And I know he's gonna go in on that one too. So, so Amina, Boston University. I think it's Boston University. One of them colleges. Don't quote me on if it's Boston University, but I do believe it's
You
Boston
skipped the
University.
76ers question.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna save the Sixers for last.
Okay.
Uh, start. We're gonna start. We start with. We're gonna end with our last. We're gonna finish our last football related topic.
Okay.
Boston University may have discovered a way to diagnose CTE in living brains. If this procedure can actually work, is the NFL in trouble? You can go.
Yes. I was not aware of this new breakthrough, but now this came up. I'm going to continue. I'm going to look into it. But if they found a way that they can look for, test for, diagnose for, and treat for CTE in a living person, oh, the NFL is going to get it. You can bet it. It's going to be nonstop cases, lawsuits, this, that, and the third. The NFL had better be on pins and needles if this thing goes through, and if it actually legitimately works. The NFL is not going to be able to get away with much as far as these concussions and all this that's been going on over the years if this actually works. So I'm praying that it'll be a neutral situation. I pray there's no really bad fights, but you know something a breakthrough with something that's been going on in the NFL since the dawn of time as far as football and going on into 2018. It's remarkable. It's like this is actually happening. So get it out there, hurry up with it, and let's see what can make be made of it, and hopefully it can save lives. And if it does work, maybe it can be used for test results to be sent to the companies that make the helmets and protective gear for the players to make the uniforms safer. Especially those helmets. I mean, I've seen helmets after accidents and really crazy football games. It's not too good, but hopefully, this actually works as I said. Breakthrough in science. Whoever came up with it, they better guard their lives because the feds are going to be after them and just, pray for their safety. Does Matt have anything to say? I know he does.
Yeah, yeah, I finished. I definitely agree with you. I think that this procedure can actually work. The NFL is definitely in trouble. This has been a bad 2 weeks for the NFL. Started out good, they responded semi appropriately. If you forgot that some of their owners are free speech impeders from their players. It was a good week for you. But if you are a woke football fan, you know that some of these owners are trying to have their cake and eat it too. Uh, you know, but we're not on that. But once again, we are talking about CTE. And any week that we are still talking about CTE is a bad week for the NFL because this is something the NFL is trying very hard not to talk about. Last week it was Aaron Hernandez being 27 years old, but having the brain of a 70-year-old military vet that's been through like 2 or 3 wars. Uh, so now comes the even more devastating news for the NFL that Boston University may have come up with a way to discover CTE in people that are living. Previously, as we discussed last week, you got to be dead for them to see CTE, right? But now, if the Boston University procedure proves to be a prudent venture, then they'll be able to diagnose people with CTE a lot earlier, a lot younger. People as old as me and as old as Amina who play football may see that they have early signs of CTE and may decide to stop playing football. Now, participation rates in football, youth participation rates, have been dropping the last 5 or so years. Since 2011, the youth participation in football rate has been dropping dramatically. Other people have been playing basketball, track, baseball, other sports, right? And so if that keeps up and you have people that are 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, and up stop playing football, then that's a lost generation right there. That's a loss of future revenue for the NFL. The NFL is really in danger here if they don't figure out a way to respond to this better, of losing their audience because nobody wants to play football because of these injuries. Now, some people, some on 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue are worried about he didn't actually say this, but this is what he was implying, the femininity of football becoming more feminine. But guys, this is what happens when people realize that, oh my God, these big hits can lead to me becoming a living zombie, right? So and that's what you are when you have CTE. You're there, but you're not really there. You're a living zombie. You know, like you. This is bad for the NFL, and they're gonna have to figure out a way. They're gonna have to pay somebody to figure out a way to respond to CTE the way it needs to be responded to, so they don't get sued. I'm gonna put on my communication and journalism and said this is gonna be bad for the NFL, especially if they start finding that it's not just Aaron Hernandez. There's other prominent people in the NFL currently with CTE. Like, it's going to be bad for the NFL. Yes, SOBs. Moving right along to our last question. So, Amina, are the 76ers going to be a threat in the depleted Eastern Conference?
Can Joel Embiid make it through an entire season without getting injured? That's the first thing we need to discuss. Can their team make it through an entire season? When I talk about preseason, the regular season, possible, huh?
You already know how I feel about Joel Embiid making it through a season.
Just in general, but that's the main question. Can the entire team make it through the preseason, regular season, and postseason, basically injury free, like some other teams can do? Can they make it where their starters can their starters complete 82 games?
If they rest them, which they can't do anymore.
Which they can't do this. They can't do this season. So all that's out the window about them controlling the East. My thing is, the East is being controlled by the Cavs and the Celtics right about now. But at the end of the day,
I'm just saying, could they be a threat in the Eastern Conference? I ain't saying they're gonna make the playoffs.
I'm not talking about playoffs. I'm just talking about in general. Can the Sixers do what they did back in the day? That's the question.
Listen, I think that the 76ers. I mean, I have Joel Embiid.
Can Iverson be 10 years younger and come back to the team? Can we get Larry Brown back in the city? Something what's up?
He made it through 31 games. I give him 9 more games. I say he make it to 40. If he make it to 40, I think that they're a playoff. That they're a team that can definitely be a threat. I mean, this year they get Ben Simmons back. We'll see how that meshes. Ben Simmons should do well, and they have Markelle Fultz. I think they can make the playoffs without Embiid, but I think Embiid will play for 40 games. I think they'll be a semi-threat in the East. They were dangerous last year with Embiid, so hopefully this year they can be even more dangerous.
Can they do something extraordinary? That's the question.
Well, listen, they're not the Golden State Warriors. They're working towards.
Well, we know it's obvious, but I'm talking about the Sixers. We're not talking about the Warriors. We're talking about the Sixers. Can the Sixers,
I know we're talking about.
Can the 76ers, going in 2018 soon, can they do something extraordinary and remarkable?
I think that they have shown that they can be an extraordinary team when everybody is healthy. And I think this year is the healthiest this team is going to be with all of its weapons. So I don't think health is going to be the concern. I think chemistry is going to be the concern, because all these players have never played together. Chemistry is what's going to be it. Because the Sixers have the youngest big three in all of the NBA. So if that big three can come together and be a problem for the next 5 to 10 years, then so be it. But right now, I just need Joel Embiid to stay healthy. I need Ben Simmons to stay healthy. And I need Markelle Fultz to not do anything, to stay as far away from from both of them as possible. But I definitely think the 76ers can be a threat in the Eastern Conference if everybody's healthy, and that's a big if. Nobody's ever fully healthy in the NBA because of the 82-game season. But I really do feel the 76ers can be a threat. They have their point guard now. They have outside shooting because they got J.J. Redick. They are a problem. On paper, they're a problem.
But they ain't never played together, as we said in the previous episodes, where paper means nothing. Paper can be shredded and wetted. At the end of the day, the real deal is when they get on the court. They never played together, so we don't know if what's on paper is actually, actual facts. Or they need to get out there and play on the court.
Well, that's why they play the game. We'll see, but I definitely think the Sixers can be a problem.
And they'll be tested this season because they can't rest their healthy players anymore, or they'd be fine. So,
At this point, I'm pretty sure with the way the 76ers run their organization, they'll pay the fine to make sure Embiid don't play back-to-back games. So I definitely think that they will make the playoffs if they can get around resting Embiid like your team gets around with resting Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and all of other people. So teams will get around it as long as they got owners with deep pockets. So, I think that the 76ers will be a problem. Will they make the playoffs? I don't know. That depends on the health. But they can definitely do everything. But everything depends on chemistry. That's my thoughts. So, what's yours?
Matt.
Matt's phone was about to die, so he left.
Oh. Well, I said what I had to say about this. I just need to see the Sixers actually make it through 82 games without any major bumps and bruises before we talk about them doing magical things. Because let's be real, the Sixers, they're rebuilding, but they're not where they were, back when we were coming up. They got to get back to that.
I mean, listen. As I've said, you're right. They have to prove it, and I'm with you there. But they are further along in the process than they were last year and the year before that. So
definitely building process every year.
Let's see how it goes. I definitely think that they can make the playoffs with the right chemistry and with healthy players. All right, guys, and that officially wraps up episode 51 of the Crossover Sports Podcast. As we said, last week was milestone number 50. Check out that podcast. We went in on a lot of stuff. We titled that one the Stay in Your Lane Podcast Part 2. Yeah, guys. So we definitely had fun. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening later.
Next week's episode is the first one of October.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for rocking out with us all year. In November we'll be celebrating a year of this podcast, and we've grown a lot. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. Thanks to Amina and Matt for coming through. I don't know what happened to Trey. I'm sure he probably texted me and told me what was up, probably working or doing something in school or something, but. Definitely look to have a full cast next week where we will be discussing what happened in the NFL, anything that breaks with the NCAA gambling stuff. If they actually do give Louisville the death penalty, we'll cover that too. Check out all articles written by me, WatsonSportsTakes.com, at Kylan W. Watson. I don't think Amina has a Facebook, but a Twitter. You can always check her out and her controversial self. Starting trouble on her Facebook page, and with me right there playing devil's advocate with her, just definitely, Always keep it factual.
Kylie
Don't
cracks
get
me up. He said controversial.
always keep it factual. Don't stick to sports when you don't have to. Just there, definitely have fun, have a good weekend, enjoy. Come Sunday, Lord willing, we will be in October, and as Amina said, the first podcast of October. You fall lovers are getting your fall weather on the East Coast at least. So go out and enjoy it, man. Go enjoy your pumpkin spice latte. Go get your Halloween candy. All that stuff that y'all about. I'm a summer baby. Love summer. Hate fall. But y'all have fun and have a good weekend and be safe. And hopefully we'll see y'all next week.